So okay, so I did the journal, or I've been keeping the journal, and I've started actually doing what you suggested.
yeah, that's good.
I think it's going pretty well actually.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Well, hmm?
You sent me a mini update that you felt like it was like you felt more comfortable with your eating.
Yeah. I mean, I still think I'm turning into Santa Claus, but I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, well, it could be a little bit mental, but that's cool. We'll figure it out.
Well,
You have to.
I had one of those days. I was going to tell you the next day. I was eating and feeling like fat from it,
Mm-hmm.
and I remembered what you said. I think you call it a nocebo,
Yeah,
and I think that's really what was happening.
yeah. So where you perceive that something's bad for you, and it makes you feel bad. So, um, I think that's really important. I have some clients who have like um, aversion to food, but they basically train themselves into that, which is really awful based on, those kinds of thoughts of feeling gross after eating or whatever. So,
Right, you can really believe in that and see it happening when I thought, well, maybe that's just mental.
right. That's
And
good. I'm glad you thought about that.
yeah. So after that, though, I don't think I binged or what I'm calling binging, but eating like tremendous amounts of
Hmm.
crackers or cookies at night, really all week.
Okay. So that's good. You think maybe, because I'm looking at what you've done here, and you you had like ice cream sandwiches. Like say Tuesday, you didn't have really a lunch, but you were able to have a couple of ice cream sandwiches for snack, and then kind of a random dinner. But that maybe that was a pre-dinner bowl of vegetable soup, piece of cheese. So yeah, and then after dinner, it doesn't look like you had anything, which would be fine if you were hungry for a snack. But on Wednesday, you had a large salad. And you say with two pieces of toast and some cheese in it. Is that your salad that the cheese is in, or your toast?
Let me think of this. Yeah, again, it was a large. It was so by Tuesday was just another kind of day. Although I did just eat a regular cereal breakfast, like you said. And but anyway, so Wednesdays when so Tuesdays when I went and bought the M&Ms.
Okay.
So I had them there, and I thought, okay, so that's why I did that. And then so the large salad in the evening I made sure I had toast with the salad, yeah, and then ate some cheese for the protein part, and I
Okay.
guess the fat.
What kind of dressing do you put in your salad?
I could go look, but it's
Is it normal? Like regular dressing?
yeah.
Okay. So it should have fat in it if it's like ranch or Thousand Island or something like that.
Well, what is that? Olive Garden. It's Olive Garden
Okay.
dressing.
All right. Some Italian of some sort.
I think that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
We use that a lot.
So you know how I feel about salads, but I think it's good that you tried to, do the toast and stuff with it. So, and you had a half a cup of M&Ms for a snack earlier in the day. I think that's good. I think you're doing better with getting fats and stuff through your day.
Well, so I started with the bowl. Now it's a bowl and a half of cereal, whole milk, and I didn't do the gross stuff, the
Yeah.
chia seeds and all. And then yeah, I ate some M and M's, and then had my sandwich. Well, and I had Cheetos. I want you to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that. Appreciated that.
Not too many. And then I had some trail mix,
Uh-huh.
and so then the salad, and then at night. And that's really where the issue. Well, maybe anyway, where it shows up is overeating, I think. But 3 handfuls of grapes, so it's something feeling like something needed to be ate. Uh, and I didn't. I think that was okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could have been hungry there if you look at like
Right.
6:30 to 10:15. I mean, it's a pretty big stretch. So I would anticipate you having been hungry. 2 handfuls of trail mix and 3 handfuls of grapes makes me think like, how are you putting these things into a container, or are you just grabbing a handful? And
I'm just grabbing a handful.
so it would be good, even if you use your hands, to put them in like a cup or something so that you don't have to eat them one handful at a time.
That's me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to say, I think it's going really good, actually, but I don't want to get too carried away because cautiously optimistic, you know.
No, I think you. I mean,
But,
you can do well and still. I mean, there's just still things that a person. It's just a big learning process because.
well, but what I wanted to say is, I still don't think it's really intuitive eating.
Okay.
I'm not claiming that. What I'm thinking is, I'm starting to use the food strategies you're
Yeah.
teaching me, along with learning the intuitive eating piece.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, that's good.
right?
One thing I do want to make sure and have you do is put your hunger and fullness cues on here next time so I can see how hungry or full you feel at these meals and snacks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because some of them I'm not really hungry. I mean, but you know what? The other thing I've kind of think I've noticing, and I'll do that, is that I'm starting to get hungry. Let's say I had those M&Ms at 10. I probably wasn't hungry, but I knew that I would be an hour till I ate again, so I grabbed them. But probably wasn't hungry. But I think now at 10 I'll start to get hungry. When you get on that schedule, I think the hunger starts to appear, which is okay.
Yeah, one, you're kind of, you're not trying to be thrifty with your eating, so your metabolism is speeding up in response to, you meeting your needs more fully. And then, when you kind of insert a decent snack in there, your body does get, so your metabolism's boosting and your body does get used to those things. So that's good. The hunger is a good sign about what's going on with you.
Yeah. And let's not let it go by. So you're saying to put, instead of using handfuls, which, I kind of know what that is, but to put them in some kind of, maybe take a handful and put it in a container and then eat it out of the container.
Right. So that you can see it. I mean, you can take your more time with it than if you have to eat out of your hand, and you can see it disappear versus, And
you've mentioned that before, but of course it takes a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at Thursday, so you have a half a cup of peanut M&Ms at 11. Good job. And I mean, I think every 2 to 3 hours, you should probably be getting hungry unless you've had a really, really hearty meal. I mean, most meals won't hold you more than 2 or 3 hours. So when you say you may or may not have been hungry at 10, maybe you weren't, but definitely by 11, I would think, on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Thursday. Handful of trail mix at noon. And then it looks like you kind of had your lunch, sandwich, avocado, Cheetos. That's good. And you put mayonnaise on there. I'm very impressed.
Well, that was the rest of the bag of Cheetos. But again, for me to not eat the whole bag of Cheetos is pretty interesting. And it doesn't matter how big the bag is. I mean, at least...
In the past.
Well, that's why foods were illegal. Because if I opened it up and ate it, I would eat the whole thing.
Right.
So maybe because there's a little bit coming in on a regular basis, that panic idea of I'm not going to get enough doesn't kick in. When you said last time, well, the body kind of goes, well, I found the source.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, and I listened to it a few times, but it's like, oh yeah, could be what happened. On one level, the body's really smart, like it knows what it needs and wants. Mm-hmm. And on another level, it's really kind of dumb because it doesn't know it's going to keep coming or whatever. It's
not actually dumb if it doesn't usually keep coming, right? Like, so if you're normally restrictive, your body's actually really smart to bend, right? Because it doesn't know when you'll feed it fat again or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you start giving it what it needs, how quickly does it adjust? I mean, it's very quick when mentally you're going to eat those things, and then physically you're getting those things on a regular basis. The body adjusts really quickly.
Well, that's the other thing. I would say that this, I'm the concern I have is that I'm like on a new diet where all of a sudden I'm losing weight, which I'm not, but it's like, oh, this is so wonderful. But really, if what is happening, if what seems to be happening is happening, it really happened within like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been thinking about it for a long time, but truthfully, I haven't been doing it.
Right.
Until we really looked at it. And then within 2 or 3 days of eating like this, the nighttime stuff seems to have dropped away.
Right.
And things like opening a bag of Cheetos and I got to have the whole thing right now seems to have dropped away.
Good.
And you're saying the body can react that quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a sign of what getting enough fats and carbohydrates through the day can do for you, is that your body begins to trust that it can get what it needs, psychologically, because everything's inside your body. So if psychologically you're thinking this is the last of my Cheetos that I'll get, again, your biology reacts with, we better get while the getting's good. Okay, so let's see. You had a shot of your canola oil, which whatever, I
know. I've stopped that.
Okay, and the trail mix is good as a snack. 2 bowls of vegetables with brown rice.
So the brown rice is good, right?
Added. I mean, any kind of rice is good. They're all carbohydrates.
Okay.
And toast with butter.
I'm adding that because you suggested that.
Good.
And it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Little trail mix in there. I don't know. I just started eating. I want more, but.
Okay. That ice cream sandwich all gone. Think of peanut M&Ms in pantry, but left alone for now. And then you had that for a snack later.
And so to be able to do that is pretty interesting, really, for me.
Yeah.
Because in the old days, that handful of peanut M&Ms would turn into all of them.
Yeah.
Now, it turns out there are enough in the pantry. I probably wouldn't eat all of them because I have 2 huge bags. But,
Which is an example. That's an example of the stocking technique, is to have more than you can binge at a time, so that you stop. It's just easier to stop when you know that you can't eat your way out of the house. Even 2 bags, a lot of people could eat all of, but I mean, I'm glad it's a deterrent for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I could have. And the idea of eating at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, in the old days, that's illegal, after, even though you'd still do it, but it's illegal.
Right.
So now it's like, well, I was hungry. I mean, truthfully.
Oh, yeah. If you have your dinner usually around 6 something. So unless you're going to bed at 7, I would anticipate you to get hungry again before you go to bed, because you're still thinking about that every 2 to 3 hours situation. And when you go to bed, you're going to be basically fasting for 8 hours at least, so it's really beneficial for your metabolism, for your body, to have something as an evening snack if you're hungry for it. Okay, cereal at 7. This is Friday. 10:15. Nutty Buddy made from rice milk.
I was at
in Herb
a store where they had these things and looked good, and I was hungry, so I went ahead and had one.
All right. And then half a cup of peanut M&Ms, and then 2 hours later, so that was 11, was the peanut M&Ms. Then 2 hours later, cheese, 1 slice, and an avocado sandwich, 2 handfuls of potato chips. A cup of trail mix, it's good, and half a fuzzy taco salad, half a fuzzy taco, which is a company, not a type of texture of taco.
Yeah, right.
2 handfuls of peanut M&Ms. Okay, that's good. And then 2 bowls of popcorn at 8. Looks good.
So this is it's so easy to do this. It's not like it's really hard. It's just what's
Well, yeah, what I'm seeing is you've added more carbohydrates, more fats through the day. It's just much better for it bodes well for your evening,
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want you to pay attention and see if you're hungry in the evenings, because I think just because you're eating in the evening, you think it's a binge, but I don't think it is. I mean, I know it's not out of control like it would be, but you seem to be guilty every time because you're like, you'd had dinner, this is Saturday, at 6. I don't even know. It was a random dinner, but that's okay.
A random dinner?
Meaning that at 6, this is on Saturday, you had 2 medium bowls of popcorn, cookie number 2. I don't know why we're keeping count.
Oh, we're on Saturday. I'm sorry. But hang on.
I'm moving fast.
So Saturday, so I was up in the middle of the night working on a video. Mm-hmm. So 3:30 a.m.
Right.
Well, I had cheese and milk, so normally I would not think that's okay, but I thought, what the heck, I was hungry.
Absolutely. If you get up in the middle of the night, like you can't sleep or whatever, if you're up for more than 5 or 10 minutes, you'll probably get hungry because your body's now awake and it's been several hours. And okay. And in that day, you had at 7:30 cereal and milk. And I mean, every time I see whole milk, my heart feels fuzzy and warm.
You like put half and half's even better, right?
I've never used half and half in my cereal. But,
you don't know what's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would use half and half in like hot cereal. Definitely, it's good.
Anyway.
Okay, so 11:30, half a cup of peanut M&Ms. 2 o'clock, avocado cheese sandwich with mayo on toast, potato chips, extra chips because of taste. Unable to stop, then stop, now full. So that means that you were eating too fast.
Yeah, I think so one thing I've kind of noticed with myself is I'm eating too fast. I'm eating fast. Too fast is judgmental.
Well, I'd say too fast for your fullness cues to catch up.
Have you ever heard of the concept of overdriving your headlights?
I don't think so.
Well, my dad told me about that. And it's when you're driving your car on a 2-lane road, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
If you drive too fast and something darts out in front of you, by the time you see it, you won't be able to stop because you're overdriving your headlights.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I'm thinking this is the same idea.
That's a good metaphor for it because, I mean, when someone tells me they ate something because of taste, like they ate because they were hungry and they kept eating because of taste, just tells me that they're eating too fast because it's very easy to stop eating something even if it tastes good if you're full. Like fullness, it requires like zero willpower. If you eat when you're already full, like if you eat until you get full slow enough, then it's very easy to stop. And I say that based on like experience with lots and lots of clients who have experienced binge eating for lots of years. So
I think you got to say that again, which is what I heard is it's very easy to stop eating something even if it tastes good if you're full.
Right.
Because I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So when people tell me they eat because it tastes good,
either
they're eating and they're not hungry and it's emotional, or if they were hungry and they started eating and they can't stop, then they're eating too fast for their fullness cues.
Okay, well, I need to
slow down. Just slow down and pace.
The fact that I'm eating potato chips is weird. They were an illegal food. I don't know if you know that.
Good weird, yeah.
Good weird.
So things like potato chips help you, not feel out of control in the evening with ice cream sandwiches or whatever,
Seems to be true, yeah.
Okay, so one way to kind of pace yourself, just since we're there, is like if you're eating an avocado sandwich, to make sure you put it down between bites so that it's not there waiting for you to hurry up and chew so you can take another bite.
Now, when you said that, right then, I had this feeling in my stomach that dropped, and it went, and there was a voice that said, "What a pain in the ass." I don't want, so that's, I just was tuning in.
Yeah, that's good.
I really don't want to do that, but I didn't want to do the food journal either. So, okay. So you're saying set it down in between bites, even though I'm by myself.
Yeah. So the situation is, because how fast could you eat this? I guarantee you could eat this in 5 or 7 minutes, and it's going to take you at least 15 or 20 to feel your cues. So by then you could have eaten a whole lot of potato chips, you know what I mean, before you feel your fullness.
The difference is one is eating food, and the other one is, getting rid of fullness, or feeding the body. Maybe that's the difference. One is eating food, and the other one is feeding the body. If you're feeding the body, you would go slower. Right.
And one of the reasons you would eat fast is because there is so much guilt around food. So most people are pretty habituated to eating really fast. We're all in a big hurry and whatever. Even though we were all excited about the meal, we're in a big hurry to finish it or whatever. So, you really want to think about savoring it, tasting it, and making sure you continue to taste it. You may have had 20 chips, but if you're eating too fast, you think, well, these taste good, I'll keep eating them. But you probably didn't taste chip 3 through 17. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in your bites in your meal, you taste the first couple of bites and the last couple of bites, and so we want to be more tuned in during the meal. Am I still tasting this? am I enjoying this?
Okay. You know, it occurred to me that when you said guilt about food, we might could do an EMDR session on that if you were up for it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, there's just a tremendous amount of guilt around food. Even if you sort of feel like it's good or healthy or whatever, I mean, just the fact of eating when you think that you should sort of never eat because you feel like you're overweight can make you eat fast because of the anxiety of not wanting to be sort of with the food or whatever.
Yep.
To get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so so that was sort of lunch, and then a couple hours later, you had a frosted sugar cookie, and you said you were full, which I'm assuming is after. And you said you ate it because
before.
You were full. Well, okay. If you overate the chips, then I guess. But if you had, if you had a normal amount of avocado sandwich and chips, you would have been hungry 2.5 hours later, probably.
Yeah, that makes sense. And even the fact that I just ate one, again, it's the idea that I would eat it because I saw it is not unusual, right? But I wouldn't just eat one. I would start gulping them down.
So, and the reason that you would start gulping them down in the past would have been the like profound amount of guilt.
Could have been, right.
That you would put on yourself. So to say, okay, I ate a cookie and I wasn't hungry, and that probably isn't awesome. I mean, whatever. I'll eat again when I get hungry. Right. So if you just, even if you're really, really full, if you wait till you get hungry again, all that food is gone. It's gone to do its stuff. So your stomach is like a little gas gauge on the whole situation. So when people say, I'm not going to eat anything for the rest of the night, it's kind of silly because surely you'll get hungry again, and then it would be a really bad idea to like override that because, it slows down your metabolism. It's probably not a really good intuitive thing to do.
So your stomach is like a little gas gauge. That's the first time I think I've heard you say that.
Yeah. Yeah, so no matter how full, the needle could be past F or whatever, and if you drive long enough, you'll get back to E. So no matter how full, even if you have a massive binge, if you just wait till you get hungry again, it's gone. Your body used it, It knew what to do with the carbohydrates and the fats and the protein, and it used them all up for its normal biological functions. When you eat outside of without regard for hunger and fullness over and over again, then your body is like keeping a little extra potentially, but that has to be an ongoing process. If you just overeat if you get to the point where overeating is getting too full is more rare and you wait till you get hungry again more frequently, then your body doesn't store extra stuff.
Well, I mean, that's my hope. Is that at some point the body will go, yeah, there's more coming. You can burn this off. It's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely where we're like the concept. The thing with you is, that drives me crazy.
Okay. Well.
But also it's very charming, is that you are very weight focused, which is realistic. I mean, that is definitely common for my clients. But every week, it's like you're watching a pot boil or paint dry. Like every week you're like, I don't know, I don't think I'm losing any weight. And it's like,
I'm not.
You really want to set that to the side because you're just going to discourage yourself. Like this is not a rapid weight loss.
No, I understand that, right.
So even to just get you normal with food, if nothing else, preventing you from gaining weight would be a plus, right?
Yes,
because
right.
the way you're going with the binging would probably lead to weight gain. So if you could just think like, I just want to not be weird with food. Remember that's our problem, the weirdness with food. And the weight is like a symptom. So you can't keep focusing on, the symptom is not moving fast enough. I mean, we're over here really focusing on the problem.
Well, yeah, well, I hear you. The concern is the symptoms moving in the wrong direction, but I think I'm better with that now.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can think about, I don't know, if you were a boat pulling small boat behind it or something, if you just change directions, that other little guy is still going one direction until it kind of turns, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, your body's weight isn't like this rapidly, adjusting thing, typically, unless you're doing really weird stuff. So you're just going to have to be patient with it. And the other thing is, as always, either really close or within your set point range. You just have major body dysmorphia, but that's another that's another video.
We'll do a video on that after the guilt with the
okay. Yeah, EMDR.
EMDR. Yeah. If you're up for it, now if you're not, that's cool.
No, I mean, okay, so you had for instance, in this, you ate at 6 o'clock, and you were, I don't know if you were hungry then, but that's kind of your dinner time. So you had 2 medium bowls of popcorn, cookie number 2, Sprite, and you had a sugar craving, but you stopped there at that point, you know.
Maybe.
Well, 9:20.
Well, but I mean, I don't know that I put in all the Sprite I probably drank, but
Oh.
okay. Should I?
I mean, you don't have to, but I guess, I don't know. I would recommend that you look at that. Like, if the sugar craving begins, you should probably check in and see what's going on with you. Like, are you feeling guilty about the things you're eating? Are you stressed out for any reason that day? Like, that's
Couldn't it just be because the body wants more sugar because it got sugar?
It could, not because it got sugar. If the body gets what it needs, it asks for it less. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not because you triggered some kind of weird sugar alcoholism phenomenon.
I think so, though. I mean, my experience has been what the body gets, it wants more of.
Well, that is untrue. I mean,
Okay.
That can be your experience, but the reason that happens is if your body doesn't get anything for a really long time and then
Yeah.
it gets it, then of course, yeah, I would like to have more of that, because it's not because there's something wrong with getting it. It's because of this really long time without it that is the problem.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, you're helping me see that, yeah.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to point out is that in a normal intuitive eating situation, having 2 bowls of popcorn and a cookie and Sprite for dinner would be actually a really good thing, because it's what you really feel like. Yeah. So
Really?
you don't have to have a dinner that has like vegetables and, you know, it doesn't have to look like the My Plate on the government food website.
Okay.
And then you had a medium cookie at 9:20. You feel like it was an impulse, but you were okay, and 1 was enough. So that was a plus.
Again, that's one thing I've seen that's starting to happen.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's a temporary thing, but anyway, it's
Yeah.
been that way.
It's just a temporary thing is sort of like I'm willing myself to do this. I'm using my willpower, and so who knows when that will fade.
Yeah, right.
When you're using biology, it's not really a fading thing. You know what I mean? Like, you're now attuning to your actual body needs. So it's not, willpower is not super awesome. Like, it's not super effective.
I agree. Yeah, it gives out. It's kind of like a dog. When you really need it, it's not there.
And believe me, people that I know who have lost weight using willpower have tremendous amounts of willpower. I know people who have lost and gained 100 pounds multiple times. That is a crazy amount of willpower. So they're not lacking in willpower, because that's what the belief is, right? You failed at your diet because you don't have enough willpower. Right. But the diets fail you 95 to 98% of the time because they are working against biology. Like, you're not going to win that fight. And if you did, I guess you'd be like super sick or dead or something like that. Like, it's not, if you can power yourself to starve and be malnourished enough.
Well, that's the insight I had is diets work. It just depends on when you die.
Yeah. Did you die on a down slope?
Yeah, if you died on the downslope, then it worked fine. But if
and
you
you'll
live
probably
on,
die sooner. Good news, because you're totally damaging your heart. Like, all these.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of the real medical issues come from the yo-yo diet versus just allowing someone to be in their set point, even if it's different places on the BMI. You know how I am with the Journal of Medical. American
Yeah,
Medical
we've talked about that, but.
Okay, so Sunday, 7 o'clock, 1.5 bowls of cereal with whole milk, wheat toast with butter. 11 scrambled eggs, hash browns, toast with butter, with Frank's Red Hot Original.
That might become a sponsor.
I don't know who that is.
Well, you need to.
Okay, well, we'll look at it
them.
more if they sponsor.
Huh?
Is that like a sausage or something?
No, it's like hot sauce.
Okay, got
That
it.
was just funny. It wasn't funny, but could have been.
Okay.
So, but there's something here to talk about for a second. So I shifted to cereal milk with wheat toast and butter. So the butter's in place of peanut butter or canola oil. It's good.
Yeah.
And I like it. Kay made, so I see it was 7, so 4 hours later. Anyway, Kay made scrambled eggs and hash browns and toast. I wasn't really hungry, but, I ate it anyway. And it was good.
If you weren't hungry, you probably would have been soon. So I don't think that's out of hand.
Okay. So,
And then 130, very small ice cream cone.
Well, unusually small. It was at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I wouldn't usually. Now, normally I wouldn't put up with that. I'd get me a big one, but
you were listening. That's good. Listening to your cues.
Yeah.
4:30, and by this point, I'm thinking you're probably hungry again.
Yeah.
4:30, you had a half a cup of peanut M&Ms. Just judging by the way your pattern goes.
Right. No, I think I was hungry, and I had some peanut M&Ms.
Yeah. Then 5:30, 4 slices of cheese, bowl of wheat thins, and a half a bowl of popcorn. Which again sounds like maybe it's your kind of your dinner or dinner time.
Well, the idea here was what you call pairing, but this is right. So I thought, well, instead of just grabbing some cheese, and then I made a little plate or bowl of this to sit down and eat it.
Very good.
So
That's very good.
Okay.
And then an hour later, a cookie, and then 4 hours later, a small glass of Sprite and a handful of popcorn. So it looks good.
Yeah, no, it's different too. Again, that's starting in on any of that normally would lead to,
crazy.
I mean, I do have this little angel on my shoulder, kind of watching it, and that could wear off. But I think this is more real than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think your angel might be cheering you on rather than skeptical. I think it's the devil that the diets and stuff have on there. That little guy's mean. Okay, and then we just have like a half a day for Monday, so it looks good. I like that you had a little cookie before yoga because if you go on an empty stomach, it's probably not a good idea.
Well, that's another thing. I was hungry. Normally I wouldn't eat because, you're getting ready to work out, but I thought, well, just a little bit'd be fine, and it was. And then why put it off and then come home and be real hungry and overeat?
Well, and plus, I mean, even no matter what, like you say, when you wake up, you have a need to be eating something. So like a biological need. So if you push that out and then go do something, even if it wasn't physically active, if it wasn't a physical activity, still just that time period, you're just, like you said, getting really, really hungry. So I think you'd be better at yoga, less likely to pass out.
Well, I can give you the rest of the day. Trail mix at noon. So at 1 o'clock, I had a grilled cheese and egg sandwich. Seemed okay. It was greasy. It was greasy. And then potato chips. 7. Oh, here's 7. I had the French dinner. Wheat thins, cheese, and grapes.
Nice.
Probably too much cheese, little note. And then 8 o'clock, a cookie.
Okay.
So that's how it's been going.
So, one thing for you to kind of consider is moving away from like wheat thins and wheat toast, unless you really love wheat. It's really not necessary. They're pretty similar. I think you actually benefit from having like regular crackers if you like them, like a good Ritz or, whatever. And then white and wheat bread is really pretty similar. So if a person looks at the food label, you're going to have the same calories, same carbohydrate. If there's a difference on fiber, which is all what the whole fuss is about, it's going to be maybe 1 or 2 grams, which isn't going to make any kind of difference.
Okay.
Great. Just to address the greasy comment, I would say is that's fat, right? So when you see grease on something, it's just fats, and you need fats for your body to do all the stuff it's supposed to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I cooked it in butter, and it's always greasy, but now I'm doing it like it needs it.
Right.
I would have to say, and I don't mean to be silly, well, that the body's starting to feel better, like more relaxed around food.
That's kind of nice.
It seems funny that this is so close, but yet was so hard to find, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely kind of blows people's mind, and they have a hard time. I'm impressed with you for kind of, hanging in there, because it is really hard, especially, the more time you spent doing things the super ineffective way, the harder it is to believe it could be simple on this end. I mean, the part that's not simple is the emotional part, the non-hunger or just to eat. So what I'd say for your next food journal is just give me a number for how hungry you are and a number for how full you are.
Oh, and by the number. Okay.
Yeah.
Before I eat or after?
Both. So a number for hunger and a number for fullness.
Okay. Okay.
One before, one after.
All
okay.
Right. Sounds good.
All right. I will talk to you soon.
Okay. See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.